All right, Scorpio, happy 2025. It's been a hot minute since I've been here, but I'm going to be doing a love reading for you for January. Even though we're almost through January, whenever you stumble upon this, still listen to it because it could be relevant for you. And we all know that time is an illusion anyway. So give it a listen. It could have some beautiful messages in it for you. I have shuffled from several different decks and with a question in my mind of what does Scorpio need to know about love and relationships right now? And so, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read for you. This came up in the Libra reading, but in the upright. So, we've got the thinker in reverse, time for a nap in reverse, and we've got no place like home in the upright. So, we've obviously been thinking, overthinking. I do have a Scorpio stellium, so this is going to probably hit for me in some ways too. So, we've been. Scorpio, you've been in the mindset of like, this is normally about strategy, about logic. It's about being analytical and logical. When it's in the reverse, this is really about suffering from like overthinking, analysis paralysis, like thinking about things so much that it defeats the purpose and you're stuck, right? So thinking has its place, but trying to figure out everything logically isn't going to work right now. In fact, it's just going to make you frustrated because you're not thinking clearly. And, you know, depending on where the Scorpio is in your chart, right? So mine's in my fifth house, which makes sense. It's in the house of like desire, pleasure, relationships, that kind of thing. So when we're thinking and overthinking and trying to be too logical about things, we're likely going to be coming up with faulty assumptions, right? This is a time to like get out of your head, move your body, do something creative, something artistic, listen to music, go exercise, or even meditate. This will bring you back into your body and into your feelings, into your feeling body, your senses, as opposed to like your thoughts. And it will give you an aha moment. So no more analysis paralysis. You've been thinking too much about a situation. And that could be like, do they like me? Why aren't they texting me or calling me? Like they said this, did they mean this or did they mean something else? Like you could be overthinking about so many things. So just be very clear with yourself about the stories that are playing in your head, the stories that you're telling yourself, and ask yourself like if that's really true. Okay. Time to take a nap, time for a nap is a card usually about rest and rejuvenation, but this, when it's in the reverse, this card is about doing too much. So, are you not spending enough time like resting? Are you going? Are you trying to keep yourself busy so that you don't feel your feelings? You also may be thinking like, I need to help everybody. I'm just getting the sense that you're doing a lot for other people. You're doing instead of being right now. And right now you need to be. Like you're thinking too much, you're doing too much, you're trying to solve other people's problems because it'll make you feel better. You also may be being there for other people because you feel like it's expected of you when you really need to stop and rest. You've been working hard, nourishing other people and projects, but now you're empty. You're trying to pour from an empty cup and you don't have any reserves. And it could be to the point for you, Scorpio, where it feels frustrating or you feel irritable when people are asking you for things. But don't let your ego keep you going. Like acknowledge that you may need time to rest and that you can't pour into other people's cup when you don't have anything in your own. You don't want to get sick. In fact, it's so funny. I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed about certain things. And the universe kind of kicked my ass. Like I was supposed to finish these videos a few days ago and I got really, really sick with a fever, everything, body aches. So I needed to be taking a break. I wasn't taking a break. I just saw 444. Okay, so stop overthinking and you need to rest. And you also need to realize like, where do you feel most at home? This No Place Like Home card is about feeling comfortable in your skin. It's about, you know, authenticity, like being truly who you are, coming home to yourself, coming back to you. Oh my goodness, Scorpio. It's time to come back to you, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit. With regard to relationships, though, this is feeling like the people in your life are are at home with you. So connect with your animals, connect with your friends, connect with your family right now. And if you are in relationship, appreciate that person for what they bring to you in terms of like safety and a feeling of home and security. They should elicit a sense of emotional safety and comfort and familiarity. If that's not happening, you'll need to look at that more deeply. But like Scorpio, what this card is saying is like you have that. So tap into that in your relationship so you can actually take the time to rest and nourish yourself. Okay, let's look to see what the other cards have to say here. We've got a couple tarot cards. Oh, we've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. We've got the Eight of Swords in reverse. And we've got the Five of Cups in reverse. Oh, Scorpio, we are really like giving ourselves a hard time right now. Seven of Cups, and here we go. So there's a lot of emotion happening and there's a lot of like mental activity that's happening. So the Seven of Cups in reverse, this is, typically this is about like fantasizing, having choices. But when this is in the reverse, this is feeling blocked like by indecision. It's also fear of making the wrong choice, or it could be fear of like moving forward. It could be fear because you're telling yourself these crazy stories, right? You're letting your mind go a million miles a minute. This could very simply be overwhelm that you're feeling as well. So you remember, like, you just come back into your body. How do things feel? Do they feel like they're in alignment? Do they not feel like they're in alignment? Ask yourself why and just feel it. You don't have to understand it. You just need to become familiar with what's going on for you. Letting go of like the incessant thoughts of turning things over and over and over, and resting. The affirmation for this card is, my wildest imagination is a tool that I can use to inform my future in a down-to-earth way. So take this as an opportunity to come back down into your body and ground yourself so that you have clarity, but emotional stability too. The Eight of Swords is a card about overwhelm as well. It's like feeling stuck. It's about being unable to see the truth. When this is in the reverse, this is feeling like you're a victim, feeling helpless, using your stories or your past experiences as excuses to stay shackled. Like, what did I say earlier about the stories that are playing in your head? Just because something has happening right now doesn't mean that it's the same thing that happened before. I do feel like our trauma recreates situations in our lives to a certain extent so that we can heal. But it's also what we're familiar with, right? So as long as you can be very honest with yourself about what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing in your body, and just being so compassionate with yourself about what that is. This is about choosing to heal, choosing to be light, not being a victim, right? This is letting go of past wounds, healing them so that you can show up to relationship in a different way. And maybe like you're sabotaging some things in this connection that you have because of past trauma. You have to be honest with yourself about that. But really, this is like, it's about fear and the thoughts that you have about the past that are preventing you from connecting in further and feeling like fully okay in this connection. And the Five of Cups, this is like, I think of this card as like the apathy card. Like, grieving. It can be feeling disillusioned. It can be like self-pity, but in the reverse, this is not letting go of past trauma. So like Scorpio, to a certain extent, we're letting our past experiences dictate what this current situation is doing. So there's a lot of influence from our own wounds that are taking place. We're also, crying over spilled milk to a certain extent. So, like, small grievances that are probably easily remedied through communication are becoming a bigger issue and getting you caught in this mental loop of what's not right. I don't like this. I feel uncomfortable, right? Um, this is also like rooting deeply into shadow work without healing and letting go. So, like, you may think you're doing your healing work, but you're not actually like letting go of it. You're just kind of wallowing in self pity around the wounds that you have. And those are like old stories that we've decided are us, as opposed to something that we get to move beyond. Um, don't become jaded, Scorpio. Keep your heart open. Don't become jaded, is what I'm hearing. So, like, my tender heart helps me navigate toward a bright future. Keep your heart open, Scorpio. I know that this feels weird right now and you're stuck in this like narrative in your head, but choose to be vulnerable and open. Choose to be honest with yourself about like how you're holding yourself back in this connection. Okay, 3 more. Oh, we've got the Knight of Wands in reverse. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse. And we got the Queen of Swords in reverse. Scorpio, we're having a hard time this month, right? So 9 of Wands in reverse. This is normally like the Wounded Warrior Resilience card. This is feeling overwhelmed, exhaustion, feeling like you're not achieving your goals. It's also like giving up, like the energy of giving up, and also being stubborn. So how are you kind of digging your heels in, Scorpio, around these issues or challenges that you might be facing within relationship? Where do you need to be accountable for how old stories from your past or in your head are keeping you stuck from healing and from moving forward? There's definitely some imbalance happening in whatever relationship this is speaking to for you. This is having conflict or arguments. It can also be like giving more love than is being received, or two people not actually showing up in equal parts into the relationship. But it really could just be like conflict and needing to communicate and talk. Maybe you've gone recently through a breakup, or you're having a rough patch where you feel like you're going to break up. For some of you, this has been a breakup that's happening, and you're trying to figure out how to heal from that breakup, but knowing that there probably is something still there that's salvageable. I feel like we're reading for several different Scorpios right now. The Queen of Swords, this could actually be your energy, even though you're a water sign, Scorpio. Like, the Queens and the Kings can show up as representative of like the type of energy you're in right now. This is judgment clouded by emotions. It's also lack of rationalism, honestly, like being super emotional about something where like all logic goes out the window. You've been overthinking. You're definitely in a space of feeling emotionally vulnerable. This could be jadedness. I mean, Queen of Swords, man, she's a bad bitch, right? And if you piss her off, like, she shows up in the reverse and she can cut you. She will cut a bitch, right? She will not mess around. So this can be like rudeness. It can be spitefulness. It could be, I wouldn't even see passive aggressiveness. I would say like cutting words with the mouth, being sharp tongued, definitely being very judgy based on like past hurts. The Queen of Wands or Queen of Swords in reverse has been hurt, and she has now, she is on her edge and she's ready to cut a bitch because of that. So Scorpio, I just want to tell you, keep your heart open. But this can also mean like you need to have boundaries with yourself and whoever you're in relationship with. This could be a need for better communication. It seems like communication is a struggle right now. Either it's not happening or it's happening very little for you, Scorpio, and it doesn't allow you to actually work through your own internal things because you're telling yourself stories about in your head because you don't have clarity right now. So communication needs to happen, although you can't force it. And that's leading to conflict and all these mixed up emotions and thoughts in your heads. I just want to tell you, keep your heart open. I don't know, I feel like this is salvageable for you. I feel like you have to be patient. I feel like this is showing you a lot, Scorpio, about your own wounds and what needs to be healed so that you can show up to a relationship in the best way. This is about like closing doors from the past and really like closing out those patterns for good. But it's like it's brought you to this place of like, oh, you are uncomfortable right now. In fact, you're pretty jaded. Keep your heart open. Keep your heart open, Scorpio. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Do they show up in the ways that you need and want? Be honest, okay? That goes for us too. Do we show up in the ways that they need? Communication is going to be key. Yeah, it's hot. Okay, so whatever this connection is that we're reading on, it's a very powerful connection. So yeah, it's hot. So there's chemistry. You're connected, but is it enough? Are they showing up in the ways that make you feel safe and loved, cared for? Chances are your wounds, Scorpio, are getting in the way, and theirs are too. And communication is needed. But I keep feeling like, wow, this is, especially that Two of Cups coming in, like that's indicative of soulmate stuff, but also like a break in a relationship. Straight fire, this is a smoking hot connection, and some things are just meant to be. This was meant to happen this way. Again, you're working through some big shit. I just keep seeing like it's like a tangled ball of yarn, and you have to like slowly unwind it. But I also see like an onion with layer upon layer upon layer being like peeled back, revealing more things. But as you get down in the layers of the onion, it's a cleaner and cleaner layer, right? So however this resonates for you, Scorpio, this is big stuff that's going on. You're definitely being confronted with some things you have to heal. In particular, maybe you have anxious attachment. Maybe you're meant to heal your anxious attachment because your head tells you a lot of stories, and so does your anxious heart. And it's also showing you like what you need in order to feel safe. You need communication. You need consistency. Everybody needs that. Okay, Scorpio, let's see what else we've got. Oh, the perfect storm. Look at that raven. Love it. The courage to step into life. This is you confronting your healing. It's also a number 44 card. Look at that. 2 44s in this reading. Plus I saw 444 at the beginning of the reading. Lots of synchronicities. The courage to step into life. This is the courage to step into you, to really confront this healing. Ravens and crows are about magic. And it's about divine magic and in alchemy, really. So what are you going to do to heal yourself? What are you going to do to take these things that are triggers for you and turn it into healing? And that's my question for you. It's my question for myself too. Okay, this is from the Lover's Oracle. Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. There you go, Scorpio. Take all of that stuff that you've been thinking about in your head into meditation with you or into a walk with you, and turn all those thoughts, those ruminating thoughts, turn into billions of points of light and let them dissipate. Let them turn into something beautiful. Imagine the best. Imagine the best happening. Okay, Scorpio, your affirmation: I am protected. Do your work. You're protected in this. It's time. It's time to do your healing. It's time to do your healing. I love you, Scorpio. I will talk to you very soon.